What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where today we're on a local fishing pier and we're going to be taking a GoPro and dropping it off the pier to see what's underneath. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, right? This has been done before. Guys, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here, okay? Ever since people came out with waterproof cameras, they've been dropping them under the water to see what's down there. Let's not kid ourselves. That's not what we're doing. I'm at a new spot. I think it'd be pretty cool just to see what else hanging out. I did see up on the board they've been catching croaker trout, pinfish. I'm not big on pier fishing. You guys know that. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna bring a GoPro out here, drop it down there. Maybe we'll catch a shark, stingray, something like that. It would be pretty cool.
No, don't catch a shark. It'll take my camera.
Sarah's super stressed about putting the camera on here. Okay, so I don't know why, but Sarah's like overly concerned about it. She's like, won't you just drop one of the old GoPros? And I'm like, no. I'm like, because that might not get good footage. We're gonna drop the GoPro Hero 10, the good one, right? So we're gonna go out here, we're gonna make a couple drops and just kind of see if there's anything hanging around down there that might be cool to look at. I think it'll be fun. Hey, maybe they need to put one of those signs on Gulf State Pier there so Bearded Brad will stop getting yelled at by marshals and whatnot. You know what though?
What?
I think, just in good faith, I think I'm gonna call this the Gulf of the Atlantic.
The Gulf of the Atlantic.
Yeah, because people get so mad when we call the Gulf of Mexico an ocean, because, guys, we know it's not an ocean, but we call it that. It's still salt water, and I know it's different.
Looks like the ocean.
Just to drive those few people crazy that makes those comments, we're calling this the Gulf of the Atlantic today. How about them apples?
I love those apples. Is it recording?
From the very first drop here, I knew we were going to kind of be in trouble with this water clarity, but I did have hope, because as soon as it hits the ground, you guys can see there's a big, nice sheep's head hanging out right on that piling. I slowed the video down just because the water is so murky and you can barely see him, but we got, right off the bat, we got a really, really good view of this fish, but you can tell right here, we're in super shallow water and the clarity's not good. We move down the pier a little bit, drop down the other side, get a nice little shot of a sheep's head, and then hardtails on the bottom, kind of rolling around all over the place down there. On one side of the pier, it had this super green water because there was no sunshine, and when you go on the other side, you get that lighter color that we were looking at. But this is about as good a clarity as we were going to get on this particular pier all day. Lots of bait down there, so I was really hoping for more fish, but these bait fish, when we got right on top of them, were just about the only thing that we were going to be able to see in these videos. Now right here, you do see one speckled trout swim by. That was a really cool shot. Slowed that down because he did move through quick. And then again, saw a couple fish hanging out on the piling right here. Moved a little bit farther down the pier and dropped again and saw another, what I believe is a trout. And then right here, if you look at the top of the screen, we did catch a shark. You can barely see it silhouette at there if you look really, really close. I was really hoping to catch some of those big sharks on camera, but the water clarity just wasn't allowing it. Moved out, and then this is where we did start seeing those Spanish mackerel. That's what's going to be the next few clips, or a couple Spanish swimming through there. They had told me earlier in the day that they were catching them out there, so no big surprise there to see those Spanish moving through. And then this next fish along the bottom, Brant actually just told me that this is actually a look down fish. So I'd never even really heard of that or knew what it was, but you can see him swimming right there across the bottom. Needless to say, the water clarity was something to be desired.
Got something good, baby?
I don't know.
I'm gonna find out.
Let's go over here in the shade so we can see.
The water in the sand is so much different here than it is back home, guys. They got like, almost like, I don't want to say dirty sand, but it's full of like...
You can say it, it's okay.
It's like dirtier sand, it's darker sand. It's
not our sugar white sand we have in
shells and kind of like a little rocky, but not bad. And the water's pretty, it's just not, it's not our water.
It's murky.
Dude, they don't have seagulls, they have these little black birds. Like, what are they, like pigeons or something?
Yeah, you're not in Pensacola, so right?
Oh my God.
I was wondering, like, what in the hell are you doing right now?
I don't know how to
Y'all, your girl's done lost her mind. I'm not editing that out either. She straight up held the camera out in front of her.
I was like, I don't see myself in the screen.
Back of the screen and thinking she's gonna film something. No, she was filming on top of the car.
Oopsie.
So did you like that? Did you have fun?
Oh, that was a lot of fun out there with the GoPro. However, I did say the water was a little dirty. It's kind of murky, but I have an idea.
kind of idea.
It's a great idea. You guys are gonna love it. I know where we can get great underwater footage and it's gonna be crystal clear. I found this place online, super close. We're gonna go do it and you're gonna love it.
Did you find a spring or something?
No, just trust me.
Babe, what are you doing?
I'm getting underwater fish. Don't film me doing it.
That's not underwater. You're at an aquarium at Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, but these are pretty. It's gonna be perfect. Just don't show me doing it.
That's not how this is supposed to work. It's got to be real underwater footage.
But it's real underwater footage just from outside.
Do you not think what we got at the pier was good enough?
I think it'll be fine, but just in case we want to get some good fish. You want underwater footage? I can get you underwater footage.
Sarah, no. But get down.
What? No, I'm gonna do it.
You can't do that. No, you're not. You cannot put a GoPro in the big tank at Bass Pro. You can't do that.
Well, you should be able to.
You can't.
Here you go.
All right, guys, so we are back home in Pensacola. Now, a couple takeaways from dropping the GoPro over at Myrtle Beach. And of course, there at the end, we were kind of playing around being funny there at Bass Pro Shops. I really was surprised at how murky the water was. And maybe it was just the day we were there, or maybe it's always like that. It really kind of caught me off guard. It almost looked like pond or lake water. I mean, the visibility was probably at most 4 or 5 feet. Now we were able to see some fish, obviously, but nothing like what I was hoping for when we dropped it down out there. And what was so weird about it is when we walked out, it actually looked pretty nice. Like it had like that blue water look to it, like it was gonna be nice and clear. Not blue water, but like that emerald water like we have here in the Panhandle. And that was not the case. I mean, when we got out there and we dropped it, I knew when I pulled it up the first time that, you know, we might be in a little bit of trouble as far as like catching fish or something like that, because it was so murky. In my mind, I was thinking that, you know, the farther we went out, the clearer it would get, and it never did. That last drop you guys saw there was actually all the way out at the end of the Cherry Grove fishing pier there, and still had little to no visibility. So to say I wasn't satisfied would be putting it mildly. So what I did is when we got back to Pensacola, I ran over real quick and dropped the GoPro down at the Pensacola Beach Pier just to show you guys the difference in the water clarity between there and here. Y'all check it out. So right off the bat, from the very first drop, you can see the difference in water clarity here in the Panhandle as opposed to over on the Gulf of Atlantic, as we were calling it throughout this video. Had tons of hardtail out there on the Pensacola Beach Pier today, but there's a lot of cool stuff that we captured in a very short amount of time, and a couple things that got me really excited. In this next clip, more hardtail, but we did see the elusive manfish. If you guys see right up there in the top of the screen, there was a man just swimming down under the pier. I don't know what was going on with that. It was really weird for him to be that far out. I wasn't real close. And then here we got some really nice shots of hardtails, but if you look in the background, that is a whole school of mangrove snapper swimming down under the pilings of the pier. And man, y'all know how much I love those mangrove snappers. So that was really cool to see those guys out there moving around the pier like that. And then of course, as we pan around, the one thing about this, you have no control over where your GoPro goes. When you drop it down in the water, you're just kind of at the mercy of wherever it like flashes to or whatnot. That's what you're going to be seeing. So there's not really a way to control what direction your GoPro points. You can just hope that when it gets down there, it's pointing towards fish. When we got out closer to the end, I did see like a giant school of bait fish, which is what you guys are seeing right here. And then we had a remora that came right up to the camera to say hello and introduce himself. And then this is at the very tip of the pier, dropped it right down in a huge school of just massive LY baits. I mean, they were just everywhere. And then of course the mangrove snappers came up and made an up close and personal appearance with the GoPro. But as you guys can see throughout all of this, the difference in water clarity between the two areas is insane. And I will tell you guys, this is not necessarily the clearest I've ever seen the water there at the pier. It was still a little murky even for us today at the pier, and you're still getting these like crystal clear shots. You can see the sun coming down and hitting those baits. I mean, in my mind, this is just a really cool shot. I know it's just LY, it's just bait fish, but at the end of the day, I mean, this isn't something that everybody gets to go out there and capture all the time. So that's a really, really cool shot in and of itself, just to be able to go out there and just barely drop it down and capture that much life. I'd say the water is definitely a little bit clearer here than what it was over there. And that's no knock on that area. I mean, I'm not talking bad about the area. I'm sure it's just the nature of it. I just really wasn't expecting that. I haven't spent a lot of time on the East Coast, on the Atlantic side. I know Beach Bum did a underwater video down at Juneau Pier, and it was crystal clear. Of course, Brant's done a few here in our area that were crystal clear. So it just kind of caught me off guard a little bit when I went over there. And I do kind of want to talk to you guys about the whole like underwater videos that's kind of circulating right now. Anytime we put something new on YouTube, it's because people are clicking on it and people are watching it. I can assure you, it's not the first time it's ever been done. It amazes me how some people will upload a video and the video will do very well for them, which is awesome. But then all of a sudden they feel like they're the first person to ever do that. And it's like, that's just not the case. There is very, very little original content put up on any social media platform anymore. It's, you know, there's like thousands upon thousands of hours that are uploaded to YouTube on a daily basis. So anytime you put something up, whether it does well or whether it does terrible, it's not going to be the first time it's ever been put up. I mean, it's just, nobody's out here reinventing the wheel right now. Of course, we all put our own spin on things and we do things a little bit different. But I mean, Brant made his first underwater GoPro video in 2017. So for somebody to put a video out and be like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. Yes, it's a great video. It's just not a good idea to go around and like accusing people of copying you if you're putting out the same type of video that people have been putting out for the last 5 years. Just because yours did well, it just doesn't make a lot of sense in my mind. But hey guys, that's just my take on it. I truly hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a great big thumbs up. If you're new here to the Cameraman Ron channel, make sure you got your notification bell turned on. Make sure you got that subscribe button gray, not red, because that's how you know you're subscribed. It does not cost you a penny to hit that subscribe button, but it means the world to us. Can't wait to see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care, and we'll see you soon.